बहुत आभार आप सभी का। मैं आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं इंडिपेंडेंट रिसर्च एथिक्स सोसाइटी की साइंस डे के उपलक्ष्य में दूसरी वेबिनार, जो गवर्नमेंट की थीम या मैं कहूं ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस की थीम पर हमने प्लान की है। और वो थीम है उनकी, बड़ी अच्छी थीम है, एम्पावरिंग इंडियन यूथ फॉर ग्लोबल लीडरशिप, मतलब ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ साइंस। तो ये एक सबसे बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट बात है कि आज हम अपने हर जगह साइंस को इन्वॉल्व करके कहीं ना कहीं हम बढ़ रहे हैं। और सेम गवर्नमेंट हमारी चाहती है कि हम साइंस को जीवन के हर पहलू में, हर उद्देश्य में सम्मिलित कर एक ग्लोबल लीडरशिप, विश्व नेतृत्व की भावना का संचार करें। मैं आप सभी का इंडिपेंडेंट रिसर्च एथिक्स सोसाइटी की ओर से आयुष समृद्धि ज्ञान गंगा के 2175वें पड़ाव पर हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। एम्पावरिंग इंडियन यूथ फॉर ग्लोबल लीडरशिप, ये इसकी थीम है। इन साइंस एंड इनोवेशन फॉर विकसित भारत, ये इसका आधा टाइटल और है। तो आज मैं पिछली में नमन करना भूल गया था, क्षमा चाहता हूं। मैं सीवी रमन सर को सादर श्रद्धांजलि भी देता हूं, उन्हें नमन भी करता हूं और अपने शासन को नमन करता हूं, जिन्होंने उनकी तिथि से रिलेट करके विज्ञान दिवस, राष्ट्रीय विज्ञान दिवस की आधारशिला रखी, कल्पना रखी। तो ये हमें उनको श्रद्धांजलि है हमारी तरफ से। और शासन को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद है कि उन्होंने ये राष्ट्रीय विज्ञान दिवस की एक संकल्पना की, जिसके विषय में हम लोग आज आपसे मिल रहे हैं। मैं आपके सभी वक्ताओं का स्वागत करता हूं। आदरणीय विष्णु प्रसाद शर्मा जी से प्रार्थना करता हूं उनके स्वागत आशीर्वचन।
Namaskar. Good evening to everybody. I, Professor Dr. Vishnu Prasad Sharma, welcome all of you to AYUSH SAMRIDDHI International Webinar Series on Empowering Indian Youth for Global Leadership. Most important subject today we have. In this webinar, we have eminent speaker. I want to welcome Dr. Suparna S. Mukherjee from Bolpur. Namaskar, madam, and welcome you to this Ayush Samriddhi webinar. Next, I want to welcome Dr. Shaukat Kumar Basu from Alberta, Canada. Namaskar, sir, and welcome you to this Ayush Samriddhi webinar. Once again, I welcome all the eminent speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to this Ayush Samriddhi International Webinar Series on Empowering Indian Youth for Global Leadership. सबको स्वागत करते हूँ। थैंक यू, नमस्कार। ओवर टू पवन जी।
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Sakat Kumar Basuji. Dr. Sakat Kumar Basuji, welcome, welcome, welcome. And sorry for being late.
No problem. Thank you, Sharmaji. I think it's once again a big pleasure to be a part of the platform. And I congratulate everyone for the National Science Day. One of the most significant questions that we ask is about that, considering a huge population that we have in India, some people may criticize that how many global awards, such as Nobel Prize and field records and other methods or other international recognitions that we have been able to win over the post-independence. But the very important contribution, I think, for India is in a subtle way, like which is a huge global contribution to which I think is the production of various scientific products as well as medicine and in pharmaceuticals in a much cheaper way than in any other Western countries that has made tremendous progress in science and technology. I think these particular aspect of Indian science and technology is a monumental contribution of India to the entire world. Think about the vaccine production post COVID, where India not only supplied substantial vaccine of various grades, various quantities, in various dosages and various reasons across the country for such a huge, substantial population, but it also provides cheap vaccines to the rest of the world, all to the Western countries, to the developed, as well as underdeveloped and developing countries. Not many countries have been able to achieve that. One of the very strong criticism of Western pharmaceutical industries towards India has been that India has followed different steps in producing various medicines away from the standard medicinal procedures that they have used, and they have come up with much cheaper options. If you ask someone down in India that the cost of medicine is high or low, they will definitely, based on our economy, many of the allopathic medications are quite expensive for many people to afford. But the significant part to suggest is to highlight in this particular realm that very important wise to say that we have been able to produce medications and medicine at a much cheaper cost compared to the Western countries. Even let us look into the aspects of ISRO or Indian Space Research Organization. The grandeur success of ISRO with respect to various projects such as the Chandrayaan, the Mangalyaan, and various other international projects for which it have received great applause, accreditation from the rest of the world, has been done at a much, much cheaper cost than any other countries in the world to find alternatives, to produce products, to produce methods, protocols, medicines, pharmaceuticals, technology at a much cheaper rate than other countries. And that which has it made it viable, and it has not only substantiated its own need within the country, but it has supplied to other countries and make for themselves a global big name in trade, in pharmaceuticals, in medical medicine productions, in space science and related areas, is indeed a very good, the huge monumental contribution of Indian science and technology. But there are a few, limitations and restrictions of Indian science and technology that I will also highlight on the same platform, not to a part of criticism, but also to a look for betterment. Now, where are the limitations? The limitations are in the way how science is being taught in our schools, and particularly at the school level, at the primary, secondary, tertiary level. The delivery of science, as well as how the students are mugging it up, this is something which I think is not appropriate in the sense of the due looks. One of the biggest themes of this year's National Science Day has been youth innovations, like youth being trained properly and then they coming up with their own indigenous methods which could substantiate the growth of industries in the country to the development of science and technology through the new bright minds. But to do that, we need to revamp our science education. Learning by heart, memorizing techniques and methods. We are so proud of the coaching centers across Kota and various other parts of the country. I'm not naming these various coaching centers, but providing them the techniques and methods to crack various entrance exams, such as the IITs and medical entrance, does not ensure that you are producing the greatest level of high quality scientists for the future. This is just cracking an exam. Doing good quality science is a totally different thing. And although the government spends a significant amount of money towards the universities and research institute for that purpose, but I think this is a misdirected effort. To produce the best quality of the science, the investment does not need to go into the universities alone. Definitely, universities and research institute across the country in various disciplines need support from the government in the terms of cash and kind, as well as encouragement and support and non-interference. But at the same time, the greatest investment that the country needs to do is not at this university level or the institutional level, but at the school level. The primary, secondary, and higher secondary education system of the country needs to change. The new education policy, I've been associated with that, has been implemented. It is still in the process of being integrated into various states and union territories across India. I strongly believe the aspects, particularly these innovative aspects of higher education that has been incorporated in there, and they have tried to bridge a balance between the school as well as higher education in a very nice manner. But how far the implementation will be successful in such a wide, vast country with so many boards, so much diversity in the education system from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, I think is not a good sense for the country. There needs to be standardized exam system and education system for the entire country. We should have one major board for the entire country, and there should be incorporation from the states and union territories on that for particular special purposes. But there needs to be one broad examination center, examination system, and one broad board of education implemented and integrated from our CBSE, ICSE, ISC, and the state boards. One common board for the entire nation, which I think would strengthen the quality of education and ensure that all students across the country at primary, secondary, and higher secondary level are receiving the best available training, experience, and education. The wide variation in the quality of education that is being uh, provided across the country varies from one state to another, from one board to another, and having the complicacy of so many central and state boards, I do not think help the students in achieving the goals or achieving the level of science experience and expertise at the school level that they need. The ICSE and ISC syllabus goes in direction one direction, the CBSE syllabus goes in another direction, and the various state boards have been experimenting, have been extensively experimenting about various aspects of education in their own way or form. In many states across India, the curriculum or the syllabus of the science, as well as for social science and humanities, has not been upgraded properly. Even, for example, West Bengal, the quality of science that is taught in Standard 12 is, I would say, unbiasedly, is way, way below the CBSE NCRT standard. So the students who are appearing in the national competition exams for making entrance to this exam have to make humongous hard work, one to prepare for their board, one to prepare for the competitive exams. These need to change. We need to standardize education, primary, secondary, and higher secondary education across the country. The science syllabus need to be revamped in the sense that it should cater to the Indian population, in the sense there should be investments as well as encouragement in areas where India would need to contribute, as well as build up the supply line of scientists. It is not the universities where the best scientists come from. The best creation of the minds happens in the school. Many of the Western scholars and educators who have worked extensively with school education suggest that the biggest investment needs to be done and organized toward the school, not at the university, because it is the school level where we could formulate their mind, provide them the experience and the opportunity, and inculcate in within them a scientific inquisition, a scientific love, and a scientific inquiry in the mind. By the time students are reaching the university, by growing through this faulty school system, they're already overloaded and oversaturated just by materials, which is to complicate and overload their syllabus. I don't think it is teaching them quality science, because we need to do more projects. They need to learn and explore doing science on their own. The laboratory system that we have in the school is substandard. It is limited. Many schools does not even have their own laboratories. Students are going and learning experiments and other aspects by going into private tuitions and other areas, or private coaching centers where they are provided with this experimental work that they need to learn, and they are just doing it as a part of the curriculum. They are not doing it to learn how science operates. This is the basic challenging difference that India has with Western countries, where there is heavy emphasis of science infrastructure and providing students with hands-on experience in dealing with science from the very school level. It is this inquisitive mind that we train in the school level that helps the student to thrive at the university. And then we could expect the best of the scientists, the best of the professors to come up and guide us for our next journey towards excellence, or I would rather say towards global excellence and establishment of having Viksit Bharat. While India is talking about Viksit Bharat, the root should start from the schools. I think the school system is very much neglected. We are not watering the plant at its base. We are spraying the water on the leaves at the top. Unless you provide nutrients at the base of the tree, if the foundation is not good, which is very, very good in Western countries, our education system is just like a system of mugging. People are memorizing mathematical equations, memorizing mathematical process, and they're cracking an exam. That's not how science is being done. That's not how a scientific inquiry and a mind is being built. We are building various good quality clerks or workers or managers in the IITs, but we are not preparing our inquisitive minds in training the best of the scientists to come and lead the nation into the next millennium, or to take India into the pinnacle of global competition. So with this, I conclude my presentation with lots of hope that the government will come and invest. Both the state, union territories, and the central government needs to invest heavily in our school education system. Just think about how many dropouts are there. So many students do not even reach the university. If the school education is robust, at least they will have the basic education to train them to survive in the later part of their life. So this school education is very, very important, neglected in India from nursery to class 12. This is the area that needs the impetus from the government to create the Vikshit Bharat. Water the tree at the base, not at the top. Thank you very much once again for
बहुत प्यारा
providing me
डायलॉग
this
बोले,
opportunity.
बहुत प्यारा डायलॉग बोले आप। स्प्रे कर
Thank
रहे
you,
हैं
sir.
हम लोग, रियली स्प्रे कर रहे हैं। जड़ में देना चाहिए जबकि स्प्रे कर रहे हैं, ऊपर से डेकोरेटिव स्प्रे। वाह, बहुत, ये जिंदगी भर याद रहेगा।
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Jagat ji. Now I would like to invite Dr. Suparna Sanyal Mukherjee madam. Dr. Suparna madam, swagatam, swagatam.
Very good evening, and to the all dignitaries over here. Thank you very much for giving me such an opportunity, and I really thankful to the AYUSH SAMRIDDHI platform who has given me such an opportunity. Today is the auspicious day of Science Day, which is observing the National Science Day. And it is very important for us, those who are the science scholars, science teacher, and science students. They are very interesting of this day. Why this day is observing? I'm also sharing my screen. This day is very important for us just because in the 20th February, the C.V. Raman sir, who has been first innovate the his Raman effect, and he has find it out the Raman effect and discovered the Raman effect, of which the day is to be celebrated, and they are he has isolated, and he has been and he is our pride just because for this innovation, he received the Nobel Prize first from India and the Asian subcontinent. So, very good evening. So, today is the empowering youth. Empowering youth, it is a very interesting topic for the day, where I would like to emphasize on this anthropology, tribes, and modern era. How we are empowering the tribes and tribal people, because we have seen the evolutionary process where we have reached to the today's juncture, where we are developing our IQ system, developing system, our standard of life, our economic pattern, our social pattern, our sustainability, where we have reached to the 17 goals of the sustainable goals, where And the anthropology is the main part of this development on the evolution where we are standing upon. So I have discussed on this recently. We have celebrated the World Anthropology Day, where we have emphasizing that the four types categories of anthropology, where we have been explored our national youth, the rural youth, urban youth, and how they empower themselves. So first, we should to empowering ourselves, we should emphasize on this physical and biological anthropology. We must know our structure and our structural development and morphological development along with the genetic development. Then social and cultural anthropology, our society, our system, our rituals, our rights, our day-to-day life activities, our family system, everything is depending upon the social and cultural anthropology. Then the archaeology, where we have relating upon our forefathers, like this, where we have come from, who were our the next generation, that means the our parentals and generation was, so we can develop that pedigree, and it is needed, the archaeological evidence can give you the proper idea. Like the way we have seen in Ramayana, there is a bridge which Ram have done it and made it to going to the Sri Lanka. So India to Sri Lanka उधर में एक ब्रिज है, वो ब्रिज अभी भी है below the sea, and it has been discovered and it has been observed that what is the technology was there. So science and technology not only is the today's effect, it is the effect from the ancient time. So ancient system, it is so interesting and so developed, because we have seen and the pyramid of the Egypt, which is a very important, the geometric variation we have seen, what is the scientific phenomenon was there. And afterwards, it is the linguistic anthropology, where we can, the dialect is related, and we have explored and we have expressed our sensation and the feelings through this, the languages. Several languages are there, and it also varies from the geographical definitions too. And we have seen the journey was started from this Africa, and it has been developed from Europe, then Asia, then Australia, and then this North America, South America. Then we can come to this relationship with the anthropologists, with this other social sciences and physics, chemistry, mathematics. So everything, this innovation, the day we are observing today, it is also the development of science and technology, because today what we are observing, it has been innovated so long years ago, but this action is till we are remembering, because its evidences are there. Then we can come to the tribes. Who are the tribes? The tribe is the social division in a traditional society coming of families linked by social, economic, religious, or blood ties with a common culture and dialect. In that case, we can observe the tribe possesses certain qualities and characteristics that make it a unique cultural, social, and political entity. So each and every tribe has their own identity and own relationship. And these tribes in India, we have seen this Constitution of India has recognized tribal community in India, and the Schedule 5 of the Constitution has the tribes recognized by the Constitution are known as scheduled tribes, and there are around 659 district tribes in India. Article 366(25) defined scheduled tribes as such tribes of tribal community or parts of or groups within such tribe or tribal communities as are deemed under Article 342 to be scheduled tribe for the purposes of this constitution. So Constitution of India has given the what is the tribes and the tribal communities. The travel scenario of India, which has been emphasized on this, the 10.43 crores of people, according to 2011 census, as the tribes. The scheduled tribes in India form largest proportion of the total population in Lakshadweep and this Mizoram, followed by the Nagaland and Meghalaya. The Madhya Pradesh has the largest number of scheduled tribes, followed by Odisha, and the Bastar district of Chhattisgarh consists of largest number of scheduled tribes. There are no tribes like in Punjab, Delhi, Chandigarh, Pondicherry, Haryana, etc. And Andaman and Nicobar is the full of tribal people are surviving over there. and the particularly vulnerable tribal group. Who are the particularly vulnerable tribal group? So if we can get the pyramid, so in the pyramid, the base structure is the tribes. Then the strata, the middle strata is the scheduled tribes. After middle strata, then the apex is identified as the particularly vulnerable tribal groups, the PVTG. The particularly vulnerable tribal group, previously known as the primitive tribal group in the context of India, is a sub-classification of scheduled tribe or selection of a scheduled tribe that is considered more vulnerable than a regular scheduled tribe. So PVTG list was created by the Indian government with the purpose of better improving the living standards of endangered tribal groups based on priority. PVTGs reside in 18 states and one union territory. Total 75 tribes of PVTG we have been found it out, and it has been found it out by the government of India, and there is they have emphasis the developmental aspect, not only the development aspects of the tribes, the tribal youth too, because if we can develop the youth and if we can give the develop the backbone of the youth, that means the backbone of the nation will be developed. Hence, that there are so many youth program is incorporated for this the government side, and this the other governmental programs is also there. So they are developing the tribal communities and tribal youth throughout the Indian nation and the world. So there are so many systems have been observed, of which I have told that out of 75, the state was distribution has been highlighted over here, of which very few are highlighted. The one tribes from a state has been over here. So first is Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh, the Chenchus are vulnerable tribal group, the particularly vulnerable tribal group. These are the Chenchus are the Dravidian tribe, designed the scheduled tribe in the Indian states of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, and Odisha. Also, they used to find they are the Aboriginal tribe, and those traditional way of has been identified and based on the hunting gathering. The Chenchu speak the Chenchu language, the member of the Dravidian language family in the general Chenchu relationship, non-tribal people has been also developed. The Bihor of the Bihar also found in the West Bengal too, but there are the Bihor tribes, they are the Munda speaking and forest dependent semi-nomadic tribal community, and the Bihor is also developing their residing in the deep India the forest, and they are the hunter-gatherer tribe too. The Siddhi of Gujarat. This Siddhi of Gujarat are a tribe with strong African ancestry found in the pockets of Gujarat, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. The trace their ancestry to Bantu speakers from sub-Saharan Africa. Most of the 60,000 Siddhis in India follow Islam. So this is the unique interventions of the Siddhi tribe. They are living in the Gujarat and other adjoining places. They are an isolated and reclusive community. They are also known as Habsi or Badsa. And then the Savara of Jharkhand. Savara of Jharkhand is also Shavor, or the Shaura is also known as in this name. They are also found in Jharkhand and West Bengal. They are known as their rich cultural heritage and traditional lifestyle. Savara people primarily engage in agriculture and forest-based activities. They practice shifting cultivation along with this Odu farming. So they are also very indigenous in their system. Then the Shaharia tribe of MP. Shaharia, also known as the Shaharia of Madhya Pradesh. They are an indigenous tribal community primarily found in the state of Madhya Pradesh, India. They are classified as a particularly vulnerable tribal group. Shaharia people is mainly reside in the
Brief
district of
time.
Modena, Shorpur, behind Gwalior states of the Madhya Pradesh. Maramnaga of Manipur. Maramnaga is also a very important tribe of the Manipur. They are also residing deep inside the forest, and they are a rich source of cultural heritage. Then the Dongria Kond of the Odisha, they are also residing in the deep inside the forest, the Niyamgiri Hills areas, and they are the exclusive in their culture tradition. And then the Irula tribe of Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu also have the Dravidian Irula tribe. They are the ethnic group primarily found in the Indian states of Tamil Nadu,
In
Kerala.
brief, madam.
Yes, sir. Just completing. Riyang of Tripura, and then we can come to the Baksha of UP, then the Raji of Uttarakhand, then the Toto of West Bengal, then Great Andamanis of the Andaman, then Jarwa of Andaman, the Sentinelese of the Sentinel Islands. So hence we can see that the modern anthropology has been developed in the different aspects of which sports anthropology for the youth is also very important. Celebration of anthropology, we have said it's the 20th February of this month. And what is the basic aspects of this unity in diversity? So exploration of life is the ultimate pathway of our modern era. So we have reached at the artificial intelligence era. So everyone has the responsibility to develop the empowering the youth in case of the gender. We should mention the gender equality. And through AYUSH platform, I also welcome all the youths to develop themselves for their betterment of the life. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for giving me such an opportunity.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. And they were really scientific persons. They may be considered a tribe, but they were dependent on the nature in scientific way. What we are not. Really great. Great. You have informed regarding various tribes also, but they are also dependent on nature only. We are dependent on unnatural things. Thank you. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much. Now I would like to request Ji, thank you so much. Now I would like to request Dr. Nishant Shukla ji for conclusion. Then we will change the link of next webinar. Dr. Nishant Shukla ji, am I audible to you? निशांत जी तक मेरी आवाज पहुंच रही है क्या? फिर मैं दूसरे वेबिनार की लिंक चेंज करूं. मैं आदरणीय विष्णु प्रसाद सर को सादर आमंत्रित करता हूं उनके कंक्लूजन. आप म्यूट हैं सर, म्यूट.
Thank you. So in this webinar, we have two eminent speakers, Dr. Soikat Kumar Basu. He has very nicely described